This is Data Driven TV. We are actually right now live at the Azure Data Fest in Reston, and this was a great event. I mean, it was packed.
I thought so too. I was very impressed with the presentations I heard. Of course, the last one I just heard, we just streamed. It was you.
We did just stream.
You did a
yes.
fantastic job, Frank.
That was the first time I
did.
gave that particular talk.
It was awesome. It was on reinforcement learning. You talked about this. I saw Stevie Ray doing the Mario Brothers thing with Lewis scripts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing before your article came out. He was telling me about it, and that was one of those moments where I was like, "Show Dad how you did that."
That's right. That's right. So, if you don't know the context, is that Mario Brothers is one of the popular games that is used in reinforcement learning,
right?
Because they're called MAMEs or ROMs. Basically, the stuff that used to be in the cartridge, has been dubiously legal, been removed from the cartridge, and now available online. I'm not a lawyer, but anyway. I think it's called a MAME, or is it MAME? Is the name of the emulator? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's an emulator.
Multi something. Right. Yeah. But anyway.
But people are adding these scripts to it.
People are adding the scripts, and what they do is that they feed the screen, and they teach computer vision to know where the pipe is and stuff like that.
Right.
And then on top of that, they basically can control the game, and then they know if the game ends, and basically over tens of thousands of iterations, the bot can play Mario Brothers better than any human ever could.
And that's what it was. Stevie was doing this, and he was like, he says, "Dad, let me show you this thing. It's neat." And he ended up with, I think he started with 6 or 7 nodes in the net.
Wow.
And he started playing it. He's like, I wonder what would happen if I added 1 or 2.
Right.
And it had been running all night on his desktop. And he's like, it wasn't getting anywhere. It was dying on the first obstacle every time.
Right.
But now it's making it halfway through the level. I wonder how long it's going to take, how it would do if I started changing it. He's still tweaking this stuff, right?
Well, that's pretty cool. And even high school, like
15.
for reference. 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Which, when I was 15, I wasn't doing that.
I was not thinking about neural nets when I was...
You were thinking with a neural net. No, never mind.
Wait. Trying to keep it clean.
All that. But no, I mean, every time you give a talk for the first time, you don't know where the pain points are. You practiced, but, And then my demo freaking blew out.
On top of that, the demo bomb and the screen, the LCD connection was flickering.
Right.
Which was just crazy. You managed that really well.
Thank you.
You managed it well.
I was an evangelist for a long time.
Well, you did well?
You burned enough times. The key was, the good thing is that, I don't know what happened, but apparently, maybe the hurricane is also in South Central. I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't authenticate to the Azure Notebook Service, which is where I had everything stored, which is where I do most of my work.
But luckily,
because you're the reviewer, I saved the notebook file locally just in case you wanted to just upload it instead of copy paste it. You can upload it and kind of run it.
Right.
We're, sometimes there's some procrastination involved when I write.
In the technical editing department, there's a lot of procrastination. But I'll tell you this, Frank sends it to me. So if you're seeing the artificially intelligent MSDN articles, that's Frank. And I tech edit a lot of them. Yep. And what I try to do is he'll send me the article. I try to copy and paste so that it's a lot like your experience when you're reading it online. You can copy and paste it. So,
right. This time I didn't want to chance it. So I was about to, I think I was actually about to send it to you. And you're like, oh, I done it. I'm like, oh, all right.
That one I didn't press.
So that saved my hide today because
your hide?
I stopped myself. It saved me today because I had the notebook file locally. So, and I already had Anacondas. And if you're wondering what the hell is he saying, Anacondas is
data science.
Data science.
There's a podcast about that.
Yeah, they should call it Data Driven.
Data.tv.
That's right.
That would
So no, this is a really great event.
It really was. It was cool. I was honored to be a part of it. I was glad Frank caught mine, I think, live earlier today. I got to talk about it. Also, we have some data-driven news. We hit a number.
We did.
We hit another milestone.
Before we talk about that, though,
there was
another milestone.
Yes.
You were the keynote speaker. You were a keynote speaker.
That was the first time I've done a keynote.
Awesome.
I know. That was I was floored when I saw the schedule. I thought it was a mistake, but I decided not to question it. I was just going to write it, and I did. So it was very awesome to be able to do that. Talk about lift and shift SSIS to Azure Data Factory. Right up my alley. I love that a lot. I love what's going on. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, this is so you and I. I think you started in the 80s or 90s with computing.
Yeah, I had a Commodore 64 when I was like 12, so that was in the 80s.
And I was like, so for me, I was actually 11 and beating you by a year.
Oh.
But it was a Southwest Technical Products, and it was my neighbors. And this was in the 70s, so mid-70s. So we're like for me, I don't know about you, but me, I'm in Star Trek, okay? You know, in the cloud and stuff. It's crazy. There's more power in my Fitbit than we had on those first computers.
Right. Or this is probably the equivalent to the one I went to the moon. If not
yeah. Yeah, it's insane. But we had a milestone.
We did hit a milestone.
And what was our milestone?
75,000 downloads.
70. So let's see if I'm doing the math right, Frank. That's like 74,000 more than we ever thought we'd get.
I thought it's certainly faster than I thought.
It's crazy. It was 17 months, right?
17 months? Yeah.
I think
Don't
so.
make me do math.
I can't. Yeah, not now. You just come out of a presentation.
The algorithm. So this is a true story. I don't think I told you this yet. So somebody I know pinged me on Facebook, like, hey, I need your help with this math problem. I'm like, oh. And they're like, if you were doing this and like the speed of light was this, and then like how old would you be or something like that? And I'm like, I'm tired. I only have my phone, so I just wrote out the algorithm. I was like, I'm not going to give you the answer because I know I'm a data scientist. I don't do the math. I come up with the algorithm. I don't have that drum effect sound. But
we need that.
We need it.
That's funny.
But yeah, this event's really turned into a big thing. We sold out the Azure AI Fest up here.
Yeah.
You went to the one in Atlanta. There's been one in Boston, Philly.
Yeah.
Somebody pinged me the other day about doing one in not Charlotte, Raleigh.
Wow. Okay.
And somebody here was like, when are you going to bring one to Jersey? When are you going to bring one to Jersey?
Nice.
I'm like, I'm all about going there when one in Jersey. How cool would that be?
That would be awesome.
Go to check out some White Castle.
Oh, okay. Okay, we could do that.
Oh, and there's another milestone. It's not technically data-driven related.
Right.
But on October 13th, 1995, I launched franksworld.com.
Wow.
Yep. Well, it's not today, but
soon still.
Enough. Yeah.
That was 1995.
23 years ago.
Wow, Frank. Wow.
Crazy.
That was one of the first blogs I ever found.
Was Frank's
World?
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading, and I can't remember. It was like a few years later, I read a book by Biz Stone, and he was talking about these things called blogs. And I was like, I read one of those. It was Frank.
That's funny. And one of the little lesser known things is that I had a blog on Blogger in 2000, 2001 time frame, and I actually wrote an FTP script that would, because they did all the engineering. All I did was I did a FTP script that scraped the posts and then wrote it out in HTML onto my site. So because it was a hosted site and I was on the cheap plan, the CGI bin was like all I had access to, and it was on database. So all I did was I was like, Blogger has all this stuff. I can just rip it off. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
That is so cool. Well, it's been another great. I think a great day for Data Driven. If you're seeing this, if you're part of the Data Driven Facebook page, and you already know about us probably on datadriven.tv. We had a fantastic episode that we just put out.
That was
with
awesome.
Ree.
That was great.
Ree is she's just one of those people, just one of those cool people.
She's beyond awesome. She's just
and it was a great show.
And like her ethics were pretty on point. Like we'll spoil it for the show, but it's like she took a stand, man. That's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it's go listen. Datadriven.tv, and as we're recording this, if you're watching it, and Facebook's kind of like that, right? If it gets old, you probably won't see it.
That's true.
But it's out there right now. It's the current show. We got a couple more in the pipe coming. I'm excited about that.
Right.
We got one really old one. We got to figure out what to do with.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have our first From the Vault special.
Yeah.
And,
well, you'll get it when you understand, when you hear who the guest is and
why,
who he works for, and
more.
We had to do it. Let's just say we had to do more work.
Yeah.
When I say we, I mean Frank. Frank does all the work.
Yeah, and he does a lot too.
That's not true. I'm the pretty. No, I'm not even the pretty one.
That's funny.
But you'll see.
We have a set workflow, and anything that deviates from the workflow causes us problems.
Because it's part time.
It is part time. Yeah. And speaking of, maybe one day it won't be part time. We can dream. Yeah. But see this shirt?
Yeah.
You can't see this on the thing, but this is the data graffiti meme.
The data shirt.
My son has a kid's version size, and he wears it all the time. And it's like,
and my son keeps wearing mine.
Could we be the cool dads?
We are the cool dads.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, it's about time.
And I was like one of the. This is another sidetrack, and as if you listen to the show, you know
that's cool.
Minecon or Mine Fair, which is a miniature Minecraft thing.
Yeah.
My son's really into my older son's really into it. Little one's into it because big brother's into it. Got it. So he just like taps on the screen. It's funny, and you could tell the parents at this thing who were not into Minecraft. And you could tell the ones that were kind of into it. So there were a couple of parents that were into it more than the kids.
Right.
But you could tell, like, the people watching alone, this show is hilarious. There's one this weekend in Philly, I think.
Oh, cool.
It's a traveling show. Anyway, but I kind of knew what was going on. So, I kind of know, but I don't know. But it was funny because they had YouTube Minecraft stars, which apparently is a thing.
Okay.
They stream and they were like rock stars. It was amazing. But one guy, I knew my oldest son Jake's, one of his favorite YouTubers was there. So
neat. I saw the picture with him.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is, but I saw the picture.
I don't know who he is either. But the other guy who was in the booth next to him, I knew who he was. He used to be on the Twit TV, the Real Horse Network. Okay. And I'm like I remember I was talking. There's another parent next to me, and I was like, "Oh, OMG, Chad! I heard of this guy." And some of the other parents "So you have any idea what's going on?" I was like, "I said enough to be dangerous."
But my grandkids are into Minecraft pretty big.
Are they?
Yeah.
Your older one was into it for a while.
Yeah, Stevie and actually Stevie and Riley and Emma, they were all three into it.
Oh, okay, cool.
3 younger kids. But then the older grandkids are, let's see, gosh, how old are they now? 10, 9? I think they're 9 and 7.
For Minecraft, it's it was basically 8 to 12.
It's an incredible platform, though, and so many people are leveraging it for things like you wouldn't think of, not just gaming, but for education.
Yeah.
A lot of education being done there. Homeschool stuff.
I think it's
things
great.
Like that. My kids are homeschooled, and I think anything that can increase knowledge of technology. And you just take to it. I was watching a 2-year-old the other day, and we were at a church thing, just hanging out. There's a 2-year-old walking around with an iPhone, playing with mom's iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
2.
So
can barely walk and working the screen.
Isn't that amazing?
I know.
I had a funny story, right? So Jake was 3 at the time, and I had a prototype Windows 8 phone, tablet.
Yeah.
And I put the movie, again, dubious legal. Come on.
Come here.
Don't be shy.
Come on. Come here. Sit here.
I referenced your T-shirt.
Did you?
Yes,
well, you can see the real deal.
It's the Joel Cochran.
It is.
And that T-shirt is hilarious. So I'm going to hold that still so you can hopefully read that.
And for our listeners, the 2 hardest things in software are 1, cache invalidation. 2, naming things. 3, off by 1 errors.
That's so funny.
So in my talk, I had a thing with 5 slot machines, and it started at index 0, and I kept calling
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I could get in. And I was like, okay, the last one. Anyway, it was just you got to see this guy's T-shirt. So,
we were talking about your T-shirt. Yes.
Thank you.
My
T-shirt is famous.
How's your data fest going?
It's going well.
Have you spoken yet or no?
I have not. I speak next.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to miss it. I'm heading back to Richmond. Well, back to Farmville, actually. I was going to Richmond, but I bet they're going to cancel. They're calling for all sorts of bad Hurricane Michael weather. That's what.
Right.
That's what they're talking
it's
about.
Not
up
early
there.
yet, isn't it?
Well, they're saying 4-ish.
Well, you've got the weather station. Why don't you?
That's true. Everybody thinks that. It's not predictive. It's not.
Well, you and Frank obviously have
yet.
a project.
We were just talking about kids and technology.
Yeah.
And he was talking about a 2-year-old with an iPhone. My 3-year-old talks to Alexa.
No way.
Nice.
So, if he wants to hear the Paw Patrol theme song, but get this. He doesn't call her Alexa. He calls her Alexa for some reason. And he gets mad. So what he's figured out, if he says Alexa twice, it fires.
Because of the A
because of
and
the
end
crossover.
Alexa.
Yeah, nice.
And so he'll be like, play Paw Patrol or play Thomas, and it's just funny. These kids, they're not gonna remember when they didn't talk this.
Well, yeah, it's like that scene in the old Star Trek movie where Scotty's talking to the mouse. Yeah, except
the keyboard. How quaint.
I know.
Yeah, these kids are just. Well, Mark Tabadillo was on our show. Joel was on our show. We're on the Data Driven live stream.
I assume so.
Yes, and Mark Tabadillo.
He's done this before.
You have, that's true. Mark talked
I am
about
a
digital.
seasoned professional.
Well, there you go. But he talked about digital natives. I'd never heard that term before. He said it, and that's what the kids are. But yes, you are a professional.
Something.
And no, you're. Joel and I met years and years ago. I don't know when you and Frank met.
Around the same time.
Around the same time.
Yeah.
During the Silverlight era.
Yeah. I was actually reminiscing today that you and I were in a Windows 8 train-the-trainer training with Kevin Hazard, another mutual friend.
Wow.
Andrew Duffy.
And Andrew Duffy. And it's a whole bunch of people I should remember more.
Weren't we like the bad kids in the back of the
We
class?
were. So it was a 3-day training. We sat all the way in the back, like back in the corner. It was a huge room, like when they have the big room opened up for all the presentations. Yeah. And we were the bad kids from school. We made jokes, we cut up, we were laughing and giggling.
He just doesn't care.
Well, but here's the thing. Windows 8.
Right.
What did you find to make fun of with Windows 8? That's what I'm curious about.
Oh yeah, let's
At this
not
point,
go
I
there.
should probably.
We're in the Microsoft office, aren't we? Oh, okay. Never mind. So it was a stretch. That's what you're saying.
I'm
So
not
never
saying
mind.
anything. I take no responsibility whatsoever.
The funny thing about that event was it was off grid and it was like
It was like super secret.
super secret. Like I'm like Joel, you can come to this, but you can't tell anyone where you are.
It was opposite. It was actually during the MVP
Right.
summit.
Oh, wow.
So they used. I don't know if I think they did it on purpose. They used the MVP summit as cover to bring a bunch of us in early and train us on Windows 8 because they wanted us out there evangelizing.
Okay. Well, when you said Kevin Hazard, I was like, what was he doing?
He was there too because it was during.
Because you used to work for Microsoft. Frank works for Microsoft.
Right.
And
Well, but
No, this was
this
before.
was long
This was
before.
way before.
This was
Yeah.
long
Back
before
when y'all were
either of
MVPs.
us worked for the
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
Got it.
And
Okay.
Kevin, of course, was MVP also, as were you at the time.
It was a long time.
But he was, he pulled in the C# connection, and Frank and I were front end guys, and
Gotcha.
it just sort of.
Yeah, we got to nominate one person. So Andrew and I basically kind of like, well, you invite one, we'll invite the other because it was kind of on.
Yeah, that was smart.
So it's really their fault. Yes.
Yeah, it's really their fault. But the funny thing is, like, they couldn't say where they were, or I don't think they even let us say who we were with. And I had another cover story. I was out there for a public sector thing. So in that morning, I was there doing like I actually did a press conference for Windows 8 for government news reporters.
Interesting.
And that was a pretty surreal experience because the mode around Windows 8 launch was very much. Let me go this way: if you have to be secret about where you have training like 200-300 people from around the world,
It's pretty challenging.
It's pretty challenging.
Yeah. It was an interesting dynamic. I remember the release. Yeah.
So yes, it was in the middle of this. Like, they told us like we had to walk through the list. It was just like, anyone asked, like you were over at the Marriott or something like that.
Right.
It was something ridiculous like that. But the funny thing is that whenever you get all these people in the room, the Wi-Fi. This is back before they learned, like, hey, wait a minute, this Wi-Fi thing won't work out across 200-300 people in the room, especially geeks. Everybody had a phone. A few people had a hotspot.
That's funny.
So we were pretty much irradiated. And I remember, I think, was it you or Kevin? We went to Starbucks. And as soon as you crossed the street, I guess you hit another cell tower. Boom, my cell phone worked again.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow. Well, this was really cool. It's good catching up with you guys always.
Always.
This is a fantastic event. I love these events. They remind me of the old days of like code camps and early SQL Saturdays.
Yeah.
There's just so much energy, and it's still kind of new, and everybody's kind of trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. It's a lot of cross section from that, but not total. I mean, it's probably maybe 15-20% of the people that I knew from those days are coming to these events. It's all new blood.
Right.
A lot of new folks showing up, new faces, and really exciting technology.
It's like this data science thing might take off.
I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks for watching, and check out datadriventv.tv.
And if you want a free audiobook, go to thedatadrivenbook.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Joel.
Happy to be here.
Y'all too.
Awesome.